y'all stuff together. Get everything up, moving. Want to welcome you on this Ujima. We're going to do our show. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. So, once again, we're not broadcasting on our Instagram because, we didn't get a lot of people on Instagram, although I did get 2 good listeners on Instagram. We are moving, and we are now using the Spreaker app because we want to make sure that the Spreaker people can be live. We're sending it out live over Spreaker. We're sending it out live over. Waiting for the messages to go out. I should have sent it out before I stepped outside. All right. What I want to do is I want to take this off and let it stream over its own thing. There we go. Cool. So we're streaming over that. So we got everything free. Hopefully the messages will go out and reach everybody. So let's get it. Let's get it. Give people time to get in. Give me a sip of coffee. We're going to get some water. Get hydrated.
Get hydrated.
That's right. Teach them young, y'all. Teach them young. Ray Lewis. Bro, all right. I tell them we live tonight. All right. Uh-oh. I don't like how that image came across. Horrible image. We're going to start the conference call. Open the line. So, message went out. All right. Blue Snowball, check 1, check 2, check 1, check 2, check 1, check 2, check 1, check 2, check 1. We're going to play test sound, make sure everything is up. Mm-hmm.
Why is that so loud?
Lines are now officially open.
You are the first participant on the call. Please hold while we wait for the others to join.
What's up, CeeLo?
Mr. Deity. Mr. Deity. Mr. Deity.
How you doing tonight? I didn't even get a chance to read the Proverbs. We about to be all the way right live tonight. You ready for the movie? All right. We are now here with Gye-Nyame Journey Media. Yes. I'm your host, Brother Hatim. And of course, you know, this is Tribal Quotes and it's a Heart of a Simple production. That's right. What that little person said. We strive to blow up your old paradigms. Now, right now, I am Florida shooting leader right now. Here we go. We got a shooting in Florida. School shooting. I think about 17 people are dead, right? But the piece that caught my attention, of course, was Florida shooting. Leader of white nationalist group confirmed suspect was a member of his organization before appearing to deny it. Right now, so he went on, he denied that this guy was part of his group. But one of the things that he's screaming about now, first off, this is a homegrown terrorist group. Where are all the cries about terrorism? And we're labeling Islamicists and people that practice Islam. I said it wrong, but we're labeling it. Right? But when we get these homegrown terrorists, we don't talk about terrorism. We talk about mental illness. We talk about how the suspect needed help, how they were bullied perhaps, and how they were feeling. But we have a bunch of people dead now. Right? And this was a direct act of terrorism, but we don't talk about it as such. But one of the things that caught my attention was when I was riding, while I was riding, was that the leader of this white nationalist group states that the goal that they have, and I want y'all to listen close, is to make Florida the first white ethnocentric state. Now, some of y'all be like, Brother Hatim, you're crazy, right? When you talk about tribing up, blah, 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 you know what I'm saying? But other groups are tribing up. Other groups are getting armed. You know what I'm saying? They won't talk about it as terrorism, but that's exactly what it was. This boy who was influenced by this rhetoric went into the school and murdered 17 people. 17 people, family. Suspect is a Florida school shooting, may have been a member of a white supremacist group, with the organization leaders casting doubt on the association after affirming it. A representative of Republic of Florida named Jacob Jarrett initially told multiple outlets that suspect Nicholas Cruz was a member, though later in the day, Mr. Jarrett undercut his previous claims with a statement saying there had been a misunderstanding due to his groups having multiple people with the same first name. The Leon County Sheriff Department, which has reportedly had contact with Mr. Jarrett and the Republic of Florida in the past, told reporters that it had not established any ties between the group and Mr. Cruz. The Southern Poverty Law Center, which tracks extremist groups, including the Republic of Florida, on its hate watch list after Mr. Jarrett was walked back his initial statement. The center said he had always been somewhat of a publicity seeker. Tallahassee-based WTXL-TV reported last year that the white nationalist group was actively seeking more members and said the group was on the Leon County Sheriff officer's radar. Sister CeeLo says white supremacist identity extremists, terrorists, they won't talk about it as such, but they will pull us over. They will pull us out. They will talk to us. We do, but we don't control the narrative of the media outlets. The NRA motto is no lives matter. Damn. Is that real or did you come up with that one? I don't think the Civil War is a very real possibility. I don't think the Civil War is a very real possibility in the next 2 years. Mr. Jeb told the Tallahassee Democratic predicting an open violent clash involving guns and people stabbing and killing each other. This is their prediction. And they're preparing for it. I want you to understand that. We have groups of individuals out here preparing to do harm, preparing to come up against you. You know what I'm saying? And when we talk in this fashion, we are harassed. We have problems. You know what I'm saying? We wrong for even thinking that. You know, we all, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? We become problems when we start having these conversations in family. I need y'all to understand 100%, right? These people are not playing with us. We playing. They're not playing. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, I sent out the text and I'm seeing what's going on. I understand. Okay. All right, cool. They all went out. So, you know, maybe it's a slow night. I don't know. CeeLo. Look like it might be just me and you. We're going to sit up here. We're going to sip. But, you know, I did put the YouTube link. Let's see if there's anybody talking to us on YouTube. Let's see if there's anybody talking on YouTube. Nope. It's just us. So we about to go and run through these proverbs real quick because I got a long day tomorrow. Matter of fact, a long night. And my neck is stiff. So I don't know how I'm going to work that out. All right. So today we're going to be pulling from Gye-Nyame Journey Workbook, Travel Quotes. Right? You get this on PDF at my Gumroad site. I will start posting that up. Also, we're going to start advertising the 21-day Nguzo Saba challenge. It will be no longer free. You know what I'm saying? We got to do something to pay the bills around here. This super phone is killing the brother, right? Because I'm sending out we having these conversations and I'm trying to build, right? And hell, we got to pay the bills. You know what I'm saying? Streaming ain't free. Ain't nothing free. But hey, I do it. I do it because I honestly believe in what I'm doing. I love what I'm doing. I love the fact that I had an opportunity to join y'all, and I got people like CeeLo that are consistent. That's all I ask for. Consistent. You don't have to be with me all the time, but you're consistent. I see you. Right? I see y'all out there, the ones that support me.
This call is being recorded.
So of course we know that's my co-host, Brother Shaka. He's in the house. Or am I wrong? Is that Shaka?
This is Shaka.
Okay. How's my sound?
This is Shaka. And I'll tell you like this.
Go ahead.
All right, let me take the activity. What I'm doing right now is I'm taking everybody who is on my show right now, and I'm telling them to call over to your show. So everybody, Keisha, Isaiah, Shakim, he's probably already on it. All right, we calling in right now. So I want to hear y'all buzz in, and this is some real grown folk talk, some power moves being had right now.
That's
and you
right.
can be a part of it. I'm saying, right. I need to hear y'all call in. Just get on the show, even if you don't say nothing. Just step on in so you can see what they're talking about. And I'm gonna go ahead and close this up, and I'll see y'all on the flip side. Tippy tie on the panic side.
Sadate. You know, a lot.
How you doing there?
I'm doing good, family. How about yourself? How's it going down there? How's it going up there in Cleveland?
Thank you for correcting that. I always used to make the same mistake. Man, let me tell you something. Today is day number 3. So I'm seeing a lot of activity. I'm testing some things out, and I am being a mad scientist over here in a really good way. I appreciate the SCOBY on so many different levels, man. Number one, drinking this June down here or up here, it really does. I'm starting to feel it. I'm starting to feel my body adjusting to my gut adjusting to what it's supposed to be doing. And like I said, I got some things that I'm working on. I am trying to cultivate an original SCOBY for what I'm calling Red June. Which is using that red rooibos that I got while I was down there in Columbus. And for everybody that doesn't know what red rooibos is, it's a tea that's made from an African honey bush. So yeah, so we'll see. I put a little bit of the SCOBY juice from the first batch in with that, boiled it up with the honey and green tea and red rooibos just to see
that's a mature SCOBY. Did you split it? Did you split it and put a part of it in it so just in case it don't take, you ain't throw all your dice into one pot, did you?
No, in fact, I'm actually trying to produce an original SCOBY with just the juice.
Oh, okay, I got you. So you took some of the original juice and you putting it in there with the honey and sugar and seeing if that's hot. Go ahead, Shaka. That's hot.
Yeah,
I got you. So from the actual tea, you're gonna let it sit and see what start. Yeah. That's a good way to do it. And I think that's gonna work for you. It's gonna take a little bit longer though. It's gonna take a little bit longer.
Okay.
All right, because now it got to build from scratch. So what you're gonna see, you got to be very perceptive. When you push down in the liquid, what you're gonna see is gonna be a clear film,
a
membrane starting over top. And once you start seeing that develop, you're on the right track.
Now let me ask you this. Now on day 3, that membrane got a little bit more gelatinous, but it was still translucent. Is it supposed to be translucent or does it become opaque?
Yep. Peace. Who that?
Zulu King Shakel.
Peace, God. How you doing today?
You started chopping up, Hatem. What's going on?
Nothing. Y'all can you hear me? I said peace. How you doing?
All right.
All right. But hold on. Go ahead, Shaka. Finish what you were saying.
Hello?
Shaka, can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Shaka. Oh, man.
Yeah, I hear you, but we breaking up.
All right.
Yeah, everybody breaking up.
All right, hold on. Let me see if I can.
You know what, Shakim? It's something with your phone, man. If you would press mute, let me just make sure.
Okay.
Check 1, check 2. Check 1, check 2.
Hatem?
Yeah, you can't hear me? Check 1.
Yeah, you still breaking up.
I'm back now.
All right, hold on. Let me switch.
Okay, yeah, it's not you, Shakim. It's something else.
Let me try switching mics. So we're gonna move from the blue snowball because it ain't registering no sound. We're gonna move from there. I'm gonna try to do my webcam, which is a horrible mic, but it probably picked me up just a little bit better. I'm gonna try using those settings. How's that right there? Is that coming through? Check 1, check 2.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
It's a little bit clearer.
Okay. All right.
Okay, now you're clear.
On your end,
Okay.
CeeLo is always going to sound fine. We also been joined by Christopher and Bell on Spreaker. I see you, bro. Thank you for stepping into the chat. If you got any comments or questions or anything, feel free. If you want to call in, the number is 614-556-4535. Once again, that's 614-556-4535. Let's see what's going on YouTube real quick before we get into these proverbs. But Shaka, you was telling us about your experiment, which I'm really let me preface it with this, family. I want to make sure that everybody that's tuning in, I want you to understand this. I make this step called that ambrosia. I believe that is something that we need in our community, and I'm willing to teach other people how to do it. Just like I got Shaka brewing his own, I believe that we all could brew our own. If you want to buy from me, I have no problem selling it, right? But or trading with you. You know what I'm saying? Let's do it like that. You know what I'm saying? So I can stay out of court.
Yeah.
But the piece that I'm trying to get people to understand is that we have to start taking care of our own health. And we need to start looking at businesses from the ground up. And this is a business that we could run. We could buy land with water rights, and we could produce our own water. You know what I'm saying? We could start growing our own teas, whether we use herb teas and stuff like that rather than green tea. If we can't grow green tea over here, we could start growing green tea. We could get bees, and we could get our own honey, right? We could take it all the way up and get even deeper with it, and we could probably produce our own bottles if we start doing stuff like this together. But this is a health elixir, right? That helps bring your microbiome into balance, family. This is part of our issue. Is one, like I said, there are 4 major things that we all need to make sure that we are healthy, right? One, the first thing is proper breathing. Most of us are not breathing right. And because we're not breathing right, our body is breaking down, which causes diabetes, which makes us susceptible to these autoimmune diseases. The next one is water. So we might be breathing. We're not breathing right. Then we're not taking in enough water. Juice does not count. Coffee does not count. Your body needs pure, unadulterated water. And we come from a people that drunk well water or drunk spring water. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So it's best. You know what I'm saying? Those are 2 of the best, but of course you can do distilled water as well. The next thing that you need to do is to eat a culturally appropriate diet. Most of us are of African descent, so we need to be looking into stuff like the African heritage diet. We need to start adding things into our diet that our body was developed to use instead of all this junk that they're producing. Some of us want to eat like we Greek. We're not Greek. We're not Arabs. We're not West Asians. We're not European. You know, we're not East Asians. It's good to eat it sometime, but we have to start adding culturally appropriate things to our diet, like some palm oil. Like a lot of leafy vegetables, like a lot of beans. You know what I'm saying? Small, and that just check out, just look up African heritage diet. And the last thing that we need to stay totally healthy is proper movement, family. A lot of us are not moving enough. This lifestyle got us into a sedentary lifestyle, but the human body was designed to get at least 20 miles a day. You should be able to move at least 20 miles a day. We doing those things.
Wait. Hold on.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
What? Wait. So how you calculate? Are you using a metric or
no? What I'm saying is, if you look at the way the human body is designed, we are the only animal that can run consistently. This is one of the things that help move us. It's not just intelligence, but it's the fact that our endurance outdo every other animal. There are animals faster than us. There are animals stronger than us. But there's very few animals that can continuously move as we do. We can run and cool ourselves at the exact same time. A dog can run faster than us, but a dog can't run farther than us. A deer can run faster than us, but a deer can't run farther than us. At one point in time, a lot of us don't understand. We used to do what was called exhaustion hunting, where when we didn't have the technology and didn't have possibly sharp objects to kill something, we would run that shit till it died. Listen to me, family.
Wow.
But we have been taught that we are designed to sit down. No, family, we designed to move. We come from a moving people. We will walk. 20 miles is nothing for us. The marathon, that's nothing for us. I want y'all to think about this. See, because this is one of the reasons I'm setting up, and I'm going to set up a warrior dance, right? Because, family, I want you to think about this. We talk about these marathons, And people get all these adulations and all these congratulations. But I want you to think about this. Do you honestly think there are people when they was going for freedom that they was walking? They was running through them bushes, family. They was running from deep down in Texas all the way up to Canada. Do you know there are races? Well, hold on. There are races today that human beings beat horses. I want you to understand this. These races are going on. And right now we're being told that we are not, you know what I'm saying? We're not designed to do this. We're not, family, you supposed to be moving. All this
Jesse Owens did that, didn't
he? No, see, Jesse Owens was able to probably outsprint a horse, but he couldn't beat the horse in the sprint. When I'm talking about a race, I'm talking about over 20 miles. A human being will beat a horse. Long distance running. There are very few animals, if any, that can keep up with us. And the best runners in our group, actually, it's gonna blow your mind, is women. Black women with them big asses. Those asses was designed for running, not for speed, but they are able to keep the pace for the whole community. They're great pacers.
Wow.
But that's my sexist moment. My sexist moment.
Wow.
So so we're gonna get into these proverbs. Oh, my fault. We got a guest on the line.
Yeah. Hi, Tim. We do have a guest, and it's interesting, man, because you know this brother has so much history and so much commonality with what is transpiring right now in Columbus, and so that's why I wanted to introduce Brother Shakim to you, Tim. And before I start, shooting out his affiliations and things like that, I'd like the brother to have the opportunity just to introduce himself the way that he feels fit.
Well, my name is Shakim Zulu King Shabazz. I was part of Zulu Nation out of New York, but I'm based in Cleveland, where I come out the Black Whites movement of the group called X-Clan. And, I've been doing a lot of stuff in the community, dealing with the Black nationalism that I do out here in the neighborhoods and deal with the kids and stuff. I've been working in the school board for 30 years. I just retired in December. So it gives me time to get out here in the streets and deal with the youth that I've been dealing with, through the violence that we're going through the hood, stuff like that. So it's a lot of stuff I've been doing back and forth. Then, by me doing certain things, trying to get this, since I retired, I'm trying to get this juice bar thing going. I DJ, so I'm going to start back that. I'm doing about 5 different things all at one time. God permit me to do what she is, but there's so many things that I'm doing between my neighborhood, my family, everything else. I'm still dealing with stuff with the school board because I got to keep going back and forth checking on my students.
Right.
So even though I'm not there, I'm still out here supporting them. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
I've been around. I'm only 54, about to be 54 years old next month, but I retired at an early age from working with kids. I mean, students. I ain't gonna call them kids because that's a baby goat, but
right.
Students of mine, they kind of mad that I retired because I was that one person they can come to and talk to out of everybody else. Even though I catch the bus, they respected that. You ain't got no car, so I don't need no car for what? I like to walk and catch the bus. So what? But that's what it is.
Yes, sir.
All right. Wait, hold on. Out there to Christopher Aaron Bell, who's listening on Spreaker. Once again, I want to thank you for joining us. But I got a question for you, Mr. Bell. Is the sound coming through clear through Spreaker? Because I can't really hear right now. But I want to make sure the sound coming clear. So if you could hit me up, let me know. All right, but all right, go ahead, Shaka.
Yeah. So great way to acclimate. I think that when we get into the quotes today, man, it's going to be some tremendous energy. And shoot, should I sit down? Is Anubis and is the tribe in the house right now?
No, man, it's kind of the covers are kind of bare, man. And you know, I'm wondering right now. See, because you got to understand, like I said, this is why it's important that we control our data, because I don't know whether my people aren't here because they just can't be here, or whether they're not here because they didn't get a text, or you know what I'm saying, because or Facebook might not be streaming our stuff. And it's cool because as you see, you getting your text and everybody else is getting a text. So we're cool. So as long as we got this super phone working, Shaka, it's we gonna be doing some things. You know what I'm saying? Because right now, if
you know what, let me tell you something.
Go ahead.
Like this, man. I remember one time I had a gig, and last year, man, I had a big gig and paid big money to be able to put this show together, right?
Right.
And it was very few people in the audience, but the show had to go on, and I had a video guy that I paid some chips to be able to come and to film this event, and it was only a few heads out in the audience, and I remember feeling discouraged at first, and then the guy who actually helped me put the thing on, he looked at me and he said, "Hey, the people that show up are all the right people." And that's what I feel like right now. Like this moment was granted for us to be able to have this and for us to bring Brother Shakim into the fold and to be able to really, really hear what's on his mind with these quotes. So you want to explain to him how we get down with the tribal quotes?
All right, tribal quotes is basically another example of, excuse me, Gina, you need to go somewhere. Now, excuse me. It's real life here at Gye-Nyame Journey. Matter of fact, before we even get into that, I need to let you know you are now listening to Gye-Nyame Journey Media. Of course, you know this is Tribal Quotes. This is a Heart of a Simple production, where we strive to blow up those old paradigms. So I compiled a book called Gye-Nyame Journey Workbook. I know you can't see it, those out there that's on Spreaker and those that's online, but I put this book together, and basically what I do is we go through and we do what's called wisdom mining. I'm gonna read the quotes or the proverbs, and we're gonna sit down here and we're gonna break them down. And what we start to find out is that the wisdom that comes from these quotes, the wisdom that comes from these proverbs, apply to some of the issues that we have today, that we're dealing with in our personal lives and that we're dealing with in our tribal lives, as well as dealing with in our national lives. And I want people to really understand that, because it's important, especially how a lot of times people come at us, family. I want y'all to understand this. They're coming at us through symbols, right? And we have to become symbol literate so that we can deal with a lot of this madness that's going on out here. You understand? So that we can really start understanding, and we can start really controlling, as Sister CeeLo reminded us earlier on the timeline on Facebook, controlling the narrative and how it's presented to us. Like, I want y'all to listen to the narrative of this shooter in Florida. It's not a terrorist. It's a white man with a mental illness. He go into a school, he murders people, and we're talking about mental illness and guns rather than the white terrorist groups that are active in America, controlling the narrative. Now, are we controlling our narrative? Well, we have a movie that's coming out tonight and tomorrow, between tonight and tomorrow, that is depicting a narrative for us, supposedly about us. And this is one of the reasons I'm telling people that we are going to do a viewing of the Black Panther tomorrow, not tomorrow, on Kuumba. For those that don't understand what I'm talking about, I used Nguzo Saba rather than the days of the week because I'm taking over and conquering the symbols. Well, we're going to look at it and we're going to break down some of the symbolism, and we're going to control the narrative of that story that is presented to our kids. So in this show, what we're doing, we're practicing learning how to control narratives. We're controlling how to define stuff, and we're taking time to break down this stuff and do the wisdom mining, do the hard work, do the thinking, and break some of this stuff down and sharing what we get from it with ourselves as well as those that are listening. Because although we don't have a lot of listeners here, people gonna come on later and they're gonna check it out, and you never know what you share. You never know how it's gonna affect somebody that's listening. So I want you not to hide your light up under a bush, not to be shy, not to be scared. Your opinion does not have to agree with mine. We can have a friendly debate, or we can have a heated debate, because this is not my show. This is the tribe show. I'm building a tribe, and I need people to understand that harmony and order and balance does not mean that we always got to get along. That's some bullshit that was passed on to us. We have to understand that we're going to come with our thoughts. We're going to come with our independent thoughts, and we have to be able to hash it out and be able to still look at each other and give each other a hug and pull the wisdom from both of those points so that we can get a picture of the whole. So right now we practice that, because what I'm finding with a lot of organizations, especially when Black folks start coming together, we start falling out about small shit because we're not practicing debating. We're not practicing arguing. We're not practicing disagreeing on certain points. So now,
man.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, bro.
Hey, let me comment on that, because it wasn't until you just said that I realized something that I was really parsing the other night. Remember I was talking about the concept of code switching?
Yeah.
See, here's the thing that Brother Shakim, are you still there?
Yes, there.
Check this out. So when you go to community college, and in their orientation, they take you through this concept called code switching, which explains how, like, if you're a Hispanic individual coming to school, I'm giving you an idea of what code switching is that when they are in their home environment, they speak Spanish with their family. They step out into the street and they have they code switch. And now they talk in the slang that they talk to their friends. And then when they go to work, they got this proper code switching technique to where they take care of their biz, right? Now, so we understand generally what code switching is, right?
Right.
The piece is that on one level, I heard it being said that it is only appropriate to use the N-word within Black circles, right?
Right.
And then, so here's the piece about code switching as it does really pertain to us, is that for those of us who are a little more evolved than those who have not, been a part of this conversation, or we are more evolved within the conversation of consciousness. Let me just say it like that, right?
Right.
When we start to speak to certain individuals who already think they have the answers, but may not, in a certain tongue, you get offended because we're not talking to them the way that they're used to being talked to. And this happens all the time. And while your intentions might be right, and while you're being articulate to make sure that they thoroughly understand, at the end of the day, they're offended because you're talking over their head. And at some point, they stop listening and they just start dealing with you. They're not listening to what you're saying. They're just trying to find a more crafty way to say what they had been trying to say the entire time, which means that they've stopped listening to us. I don't know. Maybe I'm the only one that experiences that.
No, well, no, you definitely not the only one, because a lot of people out there are doing it. And then what we got to understand is one of the missing pieces for us is the emotional training. This is why part of what we do here, or what we're definitely adding to here as far as our tribe building, is teaching people how to navigate the emotions. Why? Because I start feeling like, people say I feel a certain type of way, but they can't tell you the certain type of way they're feeling, because what our emotions are is, according to one of our elders that come from training on this, our emotions are a GPS, a internal GPS system that lets us know when we are moving away from the center, or when we've been moved off center, how to get back to the center. And by being able to identify what emotion I'm feeling, I'm able to ask myself the proper questions, or somebody who's watching me, who's able to ask the right questions, can help me get back to center. We are not used to helping people get back to the center, or even in our own selves get back to center, because we allow our emotions to run us rather than allowing our emotions to guide us back to, so that we could be the centered, peaceful, joyful, and what is it? It's peaceful, joyful, and powerful being that we are meant to be. See, all this other shit is not meant for us. We're meant to be peaceful, powerful, and joyful. And anything that takes us off of that, we need to identify what emotion, because if I'm mad, I have to ask the question, how have I been violated? If I'm sad, I have to ask the question, what have I lost? If I'm scared, I have to ask myself, what the danger? And then I have to look at, because if you look at those 6 emotions, peaceful, powerful, joyful on the positive end, mad, sad, or scared on the negative end, or on the other end, because I don't want to say negative, because it helps guide you to where you need to be. When you mix those 6, you get all of the other emotions. These are just like you got 7 basic colors. These are the 6 basic emotions. And when you are able to identify your emotion and what it really is, what you're really feeling, you don't have to say, I feel a certain type of way. I'm mad, goddammit. Then you ask yourself, how have I been violated? Right. Then I could be like, Shaka, you know what you said violated me. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Or boom, it made me feel like, you know, you was encroaching on what I believe, or blah, blah, blah. And I need to establish the boundary with you. And then, as they say in masonry, all right, here's where I found you. You know what I'm saying? If I hurt you, I didn't mean to do that. Here's where I found you, and here is where I left you. See, because a lot of times we want to have conversations with individuals that are not initiated. And because we have not established an initiation process within our community, we don't recognize whether motherfuckers really initiated or if they just faking. And you in your conversation, go ahead.
Brother, I'm gonna tell you something. Because we haven't talked since I left. About Saturday night, man. Understand that, like, Saturday night, I traveled to Columbus to be able to get some very important, some very important documentation, because this movement is our story, and we have to control our story. So I set this whole thing up where I cooked a goulash, break bread with, and invited a few heads over. And amongst the people that came was someone who wasn't invited, who my spidey senses was telling me was a saboteur. And at the end, it proved to be that I was right.
Well,
the piece is,
I'm gonna let you finish, but I gotta disagree. But go ahead.
Yeah, no, because at the end, I just let it be what it was, and there was 2 bystanders that had nothing to do with the conflict, right? And they left upset, and that made me feel some kind of way. Because
wait, hold on. Let's go through it. What type of way did it make you feel?
It made me feel like misunderstood.
Misunderstood.
Because,
So now, wait, hold on. Misunderstood. Now, so is it misunderstanding in like a sad way? Is it a misunderstanding in a scared way? Because I mean, like I said, because right now we can walk through.
Yeah.
I'm gonna walk you through.
Well, okay. So the emotions that I was feeling at the time, I was excited because I don't deal well with the sentiment of unresolved. Drives me nuts, which is why I deal with the process of conflict resolution. I felt like what I came to do was sabotage because my time was imposed on, the space that I set that up was imposed on, and at the end of the day, that work did not get done the way that I intended to get done. Now, hold on a second. Fast forwarding to the past 24 hours, I had reestablished contact with one of the young sisters to let her know that, hey, I apologize for the energy and how it was perceived on that night. And she told me in the same you were talking about, yeah, I felt some kind of way about that. I felt some kind of way about how you approach me in particular, and blase skip. And by the end of our conversation, not only was I able to demonstrate to her what was intended to be demonstrated on Saturday night, but she demonstrated to me that, okay, hold on. Yeah, we done talked about that conflict and about the third party, but we haven't talked about us and my disconnect. And I'm like, well, just talk about it. Because at the end of the day, as long as we can communicate these things, I will listen to you, especially when we disagree. And that's something that I learned from our former president, Obama, when he took the stand for his inauguration speech. That's the one thing that I heard him say that stuck with me. I will listen to you, especially when we disagree. And so through that, she ended up calling her friend and getting her friend on the line. And later on in the day, like, hey, I was just wondering if we could all just have that conversation. And we broke through on a major level in a sense that I was able to extend exactly what I wished to extend on Saturday in the most genuine way possible. And maybe it was supposed to happen like that because we don't feel such an imposition over the phone. And sometimes we have to take a step back before we take a step forward, close, and drawing near into the mix. They had to understand the mix. And that was part of the reason why they were uncomfortable.
Right.
But to feel
they would initiate it. See, I mean, right. But actually.
Exactly. And, that's the piece that I'm talking about, Hot Tim, is because just like the rutabaga turnip conversation, there's no such thing as a rutabaga turnip, but just say that you're wrong, and that way we can move on. But the whole nation building process was quietly being shit on that night because as this individual represented themselves as a mentor to other parties who were invited, then that was the thing that made it seem like, okay, well, she's a nation builder just like the rest of them. So she has the expertise to be able to tell me what's going on. But the fact that she couldn't made her divert her scenario to how am I going to get home and dealt with that situation than to deal with, just being in the mix, uninitiated, and having to accept the fact that, you know what, I am a little bit out of my lane. Enlighten me. And that only comes with humility, right now, if you know, with Brother Shakim on the line. Listen, when somebody mentions the Zulu Nation, the first thing that goes off my head is, hey, I was roommates with TC Islam before I came back to Cleveland. The late TC Islam, rest in peace.
Yeah, rest in peace, brother. That's my dude right there.
You know? But that's all I can tell you about with TC is that summer that 10 years before my heart attack, he saved my life from having a heart attack in New Jersey. You know, him and his wife put vegetables over my heart to slow down the pace because I was on my back. And I didn't have no insurance. I didn't have jack. But I had them. You understand? So, man, well, that can go anywhere. Go ahead, take over your show, Hot Tip.
No, it's not my show, it's the people's show. You know what I'm saying? I'm just blessed to be in a position to manage it. But like I said, man, when uninitiated people come in and they don't really understand what's going on, we have to step back and listen where it comes from, because even going a little bit deeper than you, I'm thinking that you may be taking the other party's piece a little bit too far. But hey, that's me. You know what I'm saying? Because but hold on, and I'm just saying, rather than talk about it right here, it'd probably be better to save that to have a conversation with her. You understand what I'm saying? But hey, let's get into the Proverbs, because I'm quite sure in the Proverbs, in the quotes, in some form or fashion, this shit gonna come out. And what's crazy, I haven't even had a chance to look at this day. So let's go and look at it real quick. Day 16 from Gye-Nyame Journey Workbook Tribal Quotes. You can find this on my website, gye-nyamejourney.com. We're streaming live on the website if you're on the desktop right now. You can also find me on Gumroad. I got the PDF available for something like $1 or something like that. You can buy the book, get get it packaged right for about $15. You go get the PDF. Your choice. Just support. You know what I'm saying? All right. Day 16. If you realize that all things change, there's nothing you will try to hold on to. If you are not afraid of dying, there's nothing you cannot achieve. Lao Tzu. Next. Our duty as men is to proceed as if limits to our ability did not exist. We are collaborators in creation. That's from Pierre Teilhard de Chardin. I don't know, some French dude. Let's just say some French dude. And last, when you see a turtle on top of a fence post, you know it had some help. That's an African proverb. They're not specific about the peoples.
Say that again.
When you see a turtle on top of a fence post, you know it had some help. Now, I told you, listen, our ancestors don't play, family. I didn't plan these proverbs. They're just in an order. Now, we just got done talking about initiation, and that last proverb pops up, and it's talking about initiation. Listen. Once you start aligning with the wisdom of your people, once you start aligning and start doing culturally appropriate things, shit start popping up for you. You start getting signs and symbols. Our people dwelt on this type of shit. This is how we spoke. We spoke in proverbs. We spoke throwing out symbolic thoughts. So that, boom. I mean, because that proverb, I want you to think about how symbolic that shit is. When I said it, you automatically could see the damn picture. It ain't pretty words. It's an image. You could focus and see a turtle on a post. And the first thought that should come to your mind when you're looking at a turtle on a post is, how the fuck this turtle get here? You know what I'm saying? I know, but hey, we gonna brother, is it Shakim?
Yeah.
Brother Shakim, is yours.
Yeah.
You get to choose a number between 1 and 3, and that's the proverb we're gonna chop up real quick.
That's a good one.
All right, we're gonna start with 1. If you realize that all things change, there's try to hold on to. If you are afraid of dying, there's nothing you cannot. If you are not afraid of dying, my fault, there is nothing you cannot achieve. Lao Tzu. Anybody want to go first? So y'all want me to chop that motherfucker? How y'all want to do it? I cuss a lot on the show. I'm sorry.
You chop this up and learn some, put something else on my mind. Like I talk about, basically I talk about death every day, so I'm not afraid to die. So, you know, I'm achieving what I'm supposed to achieve. I'm in the flourish and making myself do the things I've been wanting to do since I retired. So I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna succeed on that. So, you know, I'd rather hear you chop it up, see what you talk, how you talking, and I can see how can I vibe with y'all.
Yes, sir. So Shaka, you want to go?
All right.
You want to go? Or you want me to go? What's going on, Shaka?
I'll go.
Go
I'll
ahead.
go because mine is very simple. Belief is what empowers everything, and that proverb is just confirmation. Right now, okay. The one certainty in life is what?
Death.
Death.
Why fear the inevitable? Why fear the inevitable? It's a part of life. Without death, we would not appreciate life as we do. As if we spent all our days and would never appreciate the nighttime. So the whole piece about belief is that it says that now the last part, if you're not afraid of death, then you can do anything.
That's close. That's it.
So there is nothing that you cannot do.
Nothing you cannot achieve.
And what was the first part again?
If you realize that all things change, there's nothing you will try to hold on to.
Now, okay. That is the punchline. But now we are old enough to have seen the movie Jacob's Ladder. You remember that movie Jacob's Ladder?
Yeah.
I don't remember it like you
now, do. The thing about it is that this is a man who had been in the military. The military gave him LSD, and he just started tripping. He was in the movie shows him in like 2 different lives, and in both lives he's depressed because his son, who was played by Macaulay Culkin, was killed. Was killed on his bicycle, and so all his life, the rest of his life, he's just mourning his son and wishing he could bring his son back, right? And one time his chiropractor's working with him, and he looks up and he sees it looks like a halo over his head because of the way the light is shining. He's like, Doc, you kind of look like an angel. And at that moment, his doc says something, and I hope I paraphrase this the right way. He said, sometimes our angels are actually demons. And sometimes a demon is actually our angel. And so when he got it, you realize that the entire movie, he was on his deathbed the entire time. He just couldn't let go because he couldn't let go of his son. And his son was the one that walked him up into the light. I'm in the moment right now. I don't even know what to say after that.
All right. I'll take
it. That's a deep.
That's
deep.
See, and that's controlling the narrative of the story. You took the story, you got out of it what you needed, right? You got out of it what you needed. And now you're able to spread the wisdom. You controlling the narrative. Sister CeeLo says, until you find something worth dying for, you aren't fit to live. Now, this proverb is about wasting energy to me. It's about wasting energy. We are given this life. We are gifted this life. And in being gifted this life, we have golden opportunities. We have powerful opportunities, family. And what I need y'all to understand is that a lot of times we end up wasting this energy, this life force, this ashe, directing it towards stuff that we can't control and things that, as Shaka say, why fear the inevitable? We spend time, we spend life energy trying to prevent something that's going to happen and trying to hold on to things that are temporal. I need y'all to understand, family, temporal means temporary. Like, for example, I look at my daughters every day and I know that I have to say goodbye to them every day in some form of fashion because I'm looking over at my baby girl sleeping with my wife right now. This little girl is going to die. And I know a lot of y'all be like, Brother Hatim, that's a fucked up way to look at it. But I know that in order for the woman to really sprout, the child that she is now is going to have to move on. So I can't hold on to the child because I may stunt her growth. And by me holding on and trying to hold on and try to control everything around me, rather than learning how to grab my surfboard and kind of surf with some things. Now, certain things that we need to take a stand against, that when it's not lining up with Nguzo Saba, when it's not lining up with our principles, we have to stand. We have to take a stand. But it's certain shit that we're trying to control that when we do it, we end up wasting precious energy. And then this whole fear shit. Once you eliminate the fear of death, what is it that you cannot do? You know what I'm saying? I mean, fear of death. Because death is one of the worst things that can happen to you. And once you eliminate that fear, because you realize, as Shaka says, this is part of life. Family, I want you to understand that every morning we get up a moja through Nia and at 5:15, and we toast our ancestors because we understand that life is generational and life has a cycle, and we all have to complete the cycle. So we're saluting those who have boldly gone in, at least in this lifetime, been before. They have made their crossing. And as African people, we have never feared death. We understand that on the other end of death, there's another path that we got to walk. And a lot of us are being held hostage right now in our lives. We're being held hostage as a people. Why? Because of our fear of death. And we're trying to hold on. We're trying to hold on to shit that's temporary. Our cars are temporary. Our houses are temporary. Even some of our love affairs are temporary. And once we really realize that, then a lot of the bullshit that affects us, a lot of the things that we run into will not bother us, nor will they be able to bother us anymore. So the whole lesson in this one is being able to release and being able to let go. But go ahead.
It's interesting, man, because despite my inability to fear, man, despite my inability to fear death, my child dying, is it fear? Let me put this into the proper perspective. Well, yeah, which is why we're protectors. I'm sorry, I just had my mind's buffering right now. I'm all over the place. You said something about your daughter, and what rang to my mind is something that we had talked about last week sometime, where I had mentioned that it was a scientific statement that was made that this is the first generation where the parents are expected to bury their young because of everything, like everything we're feeding them. You understand? Everything that's going on in the world. this time last year, Shakim, I'm sure you're familiar with, or you remember, within the past few years, the heartless felon thing going on.
Yeah, matter of fact, because the school I worked at, two of the guys that shot them guys on Buckeye was felons, and plus they were the ones who tore up the juvenile detention center. The same two that they shot them 5 super guys and killed one with L boy over there on Buckeye. Them guys was hardest felons, and they guys came to school bragging about it, not knowing I heard him. And he bragged about it, and they came to pick him up, but they also tore up the juvenile detention. The same two I'm telling you about is the same two who organized that little riot down there.
Wow.
So they tore it up, and now they sent them down, 2 15-year-old guys down to the real jail. Not the jury, they're the real jail.
Wow.
Hey, brothers, y'all know who?
Yeah.
Y'all know who got a lot of pull in the adult prison system now, right?
Yeah.
Them heartless felons, and you know where it started. It started in the juvenile centers. And the piece that a lot of us don't understand is that a lot of them are studying the information that we study. When I was in an institution, one of the things they had to stop at allowing to come into the institution was the 48 laws of power. And these individuals, they were into the principles. It's like, and they studied the 48 laws of power, and whatever information you brought them, they would take it and use it to build up what they was doing, because some of them in the juvenile facilities knew that they were never getting out. And one of the things that they clear up in a lot of them young boys is a fear of death. And this is one of the things that we miss in our struggle. We're allowing our young people, right? We're allowing our young people to go through processes guided by other young people, right? And in doing that, they become an enemy to our own kind. They become an enemy to us because them boys have a tribe that's set up now. It started in a juvenile institution. And when some of them boys start getting transferred over to the adult institution, they start taking over there. And then now, y'all just now telling me, I'm hearing, wow, you saying the young fellas is out on the streets and now they doing stuff outside the institution. So these boys is connected in the streets and the institution. So what we have to understand, family,
yeah, I know.
What we have to understand is these philosophies, right? Because check this out. This is how deep it was. These boys would when they started taking the 48 laws of power, these boys started scribing the whole goddamn book. So you will find handwritten copies of the 48 laws of power, especially the ones that they focused on. And I'm just saying that to say this, going back to this. In those philosophies, they learn that death is just another step in life. In that philosophy, they learn not to hold on to unnecessary shit. And that is some real warrior shit. And unfortunately, these warriors have been trained in a system that is designed to destroy us. So they are learning how to destroy each other a little bit more efficiently. So when they come out, we see what we get. You understand what I'm getting? You see what you understand where I'm going with that? You know what I'm saying? But
I do. But let me just throw this in the mix, because there was, in the news, there was the heartless felons, yes, but then there was this coward. This coward's name was Steve. Y'all remember Stevie Steve?
No, I don't remember.
Yeah.
Brother Shakim, you want to put enlighten Brother Hatim?
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. So Stevie Steve was a dude that went on Facebook and pulled his gun out and was like, you know what? I just feel like killing somebody today. You know what I mean? All it came down to you know, he was heartbroken. So I forget what happened to the sister, with the sister that he was in love with. Blase Skip.
He killed the elder.
Yeah, and he just walked up. He walked up on the brother Hatem on the street that looked like he could have been Brother Ised or any of our elders. And
He's almost 80 years old.
Almost 80 years old. He walked up to him and he was like, "Hey," and he said the woman's name. He's like, "She the one that did this to you today." And he just spot. The brother was coming from the grocery store, and his grocery bag. Several days, I'm friends with a street committee that you know, they cleaning up blocks. They said that a week later, his grocery bag that he was carrying from the store was still sitting there on the sidewalk. So, man, the reason I brought up Stevie Steve is because Stevie Steve belonged to the same fraternity as Shaq, Michael Jordan, Bill Cosby. He's an Omega, right? So
Yeah, he's cute.
yeah. So when you look at what, even beyond initiation, what ended up happening with him, I don't know. I can't necessarily blame the organization, or Hatem, where do you stand with that?
That now, first off, what initiation teach you is that life is full of initiations. So heartbreak is part of the initiation. You make it, sometime you do, sometime you don't. Now, what other people do when it's unstructured, right? They go out and they lash out. I mean, just sort of like these young boys, they lashed out because it's not culturally appropriate. I mean, Omega, they do a lot of great things for the community, but it's not, in many cases, it's not culturally appropriate. Heartless Fellas, not culturally appropriate. It's not designed for nation building. It's designed for nation control and nation destroying. Period. So I get into a situation, I feel hopeless, so I go and I strike out. You understand what I'm saying? Hell, nigga, you the ops. You hear the kids in the school right now using that term. You the ops. What the fuck what are you talking about? Oh, I'm the opposing side. Oh, I'm your enemy. You know, no, Mr. Brown, you understand. Listen, don't use, we got to change the language, well, because we're not controlling that. We're not controlling our children's peer group. I have parents telling me all the time, I can't control who my child hang around. I can't control what they do on social media. And I'm like, so what you're telling me is that you just surrendered your child and allowing them to be raised by people that you don't even know. You're allowing your child to be initiated in something that you don't know. And unstructured initiations lead like a Stevie Steve or to a Heartless Felons. Because neither one of these organizations is really designed to move Black folks as a group to the next level. I'm just, and that's my personal opinion. You know, I know I got Omegas that listen, you know what I'm saying? And they may disagree with me, you know what I'm saying? And come on the show, and by all means, let us know what y'all doing. You know what I'm saying? But one of the things that is very crucial in our community is the process of initiation, because people in initiations, you learn secrets that are supposed to help you, secrets about yourself that help you deal with life. Because we know in life we're gonna have heartbreak. Like this proverb says. Now, you have individuals that are being initiated, but in their wisdom, they're not getting, if you realize that all things change, there's nothing you will try to hold on to. He's trying to hold on to something that don't want to hold on to him. He thinks that he can control somebody else. Mm-hmm. But he should have learned that in his initiation. Family, look, just like your body changed as you was coming older, so is your life. So is the friends in your life. So is some of your families are gonna leave here. You're gonna be faced with death. You're gonna be faced with heartbreak. You're gonna be faced with economic challenges. You're gonna be faced with all these things, and we need to get you prepared for that. We don't do that no more. We just allow motherfuckers to go out here and experience life. At one point in time, we was talking to people about what it meant to be a man and what it means to be a man far as African people, has never had anything to do with taking the life of an elder. So going to Stevie Steve. Now, these young felons, these heartless felons, now, were they at war with the people they shot? Not justifying war, but were they at war with the people they shot? Or was it just they just took some bystanders? That type of shit is not warrior type behavior. And I'm gonna say this about some of the heartless felons, man. About some of our young people who have been in the system their whole life. They get out into this world and they don't know how to deal with it. So they do anything. It's crazy when y'all probably got friends like this, older friends that come out the institution, and it seems like they're doing everything to get back into the institution because out here they can't handle it.
Yeah, they don't feel like they feel like they're home when they're in that institution.
Right.
Everybody they get attention and
and you and you already know how, Tim. I mean, 3 hots in the cot. Come on, versus going legit.
No,
I mean, fun takes work.
See, but the fact is not that they may, some of them may be afraid of work, but a lot of them have not really experienced life, because when we talk about these institutions, we talk about individuals that have spent their whole adult life possibly locked up. And then all of a sudden we release them and say, hey, make it happen. But they ain't never had to make it happen. They ain't never had to struggle. They ain't never really had to deal with a lot of this stuff out here. Women ain't acting right. I don't understand that. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never really been around no women. People talking to me crazy. Hold on, in the prison, I got all types of respect. So we're taking somebody that has been institutionalized and where stuff is given to them on a regular basis because they have rights as a prisoner, and they come out here and we say, good luck. Make sense of it. Make it work.
You know, I attempt the thing that rings in my head a lot and really makes me, the reason why I started to deal with those same young candidates in the realm of entrepreneurism is because of our little brother, Jamon Jones, recipe, right? Because Jamon was one of my favorites because he listened and he retained and he showed with his actions that he knew better. And so when I look at everything that I could possibly give to him, to be able to help him to learn to protect himself, his physical self, intellectual self, spiritual, when it comes to the economic, who was I then to even speak upon his lifestyle? Because quietly, I'm pretty sure he was making more than not at that time.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And
but he still listens in some ways. If you listen to his last little album that he's putting together, you hear it, though. I mean, he was listening. But and see, because that's a whole other piece. These brothers are being released in the world that's not designed for them to succeed anyway. And since they have never really had to deal with this on a regular basis, adjustment is not part of the piece, because we don't have to employ a lot of these dudes coming up out the joint. Let's do one more proverb, then we're gonna call it, because I like to keep it under an hour, but we're over an hour now. So somebody pick the next proverb we're gonna hit. We got 2 and 3. 3. This one is very simple. When you see a turtle on top of a fence post, you know it has some help. Anybody want to hit that one first?
yeah.
Yeah, I hear you. But stay over there. Take your mouth away from the phone a little bit.
knew what an upright individual, how they behave, and what it feels like to do business with an upright individual. I came to my city, Cleveland, and at first glance, and the first glance after like 5 years, I was terribly disappointed at the lack of evolution as a people, as a city. And I would see slaveholders in prime position where the leaders should be. And it was disgusting to me. It was disgusting to me. In fact, I remember at one point, the Black Panthers having a conversation with them. This was, I think this is when we first met a Unitarian spot next to Custom Street. And the Black Panthers were interested in the Black Phoenix movement on the level of you represent humanity, Shaka, and we want to appeal to humanity. So, you know, these are brothers who definitely have a strong tie to their name, or else they would have just changed the name to, you know what I mean? But no, they want their organization to be connected with a more humanitarian vibration, and I get it. Cleopas Miller, who is the current president of the UNIA, Marcus Garvey organization, and the former Brown slave, is the current president of the UNIA, offered me the position as the president for the Cleveland chapter. I had to take a step back from both of those organizations because I needed to make sure that people understood what I was here for. Right? And so I kindly declined because I wanted those people in those organizations to build a relationship with me first. Because I strongly feel like that's essential. Nowadays, if I was offered the same thing, there will be more of the discussion and more of the direction because I've been able to evolve in my own movement. So when you talk about the third world, what's the term I can most definitely when it's talking about I posted when you all along. You know what I mean? The thing is that when I came here to Cleveland, it was just that evidence that it was on that coast. That throne.
Somebody help me. There you go. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you gotta initiate a person in a place that they don't belong. And you can't help but look and wonder. You know what I'm saying? As Black folks, we got to start looking at the turtles on the post and be like, who put you there?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because it may be a trap. A lot of times we look past that. We think, nah, we got to look behind it. Somebody put turtle, somebody put you up here. You know what I'm saying? And we got to be honest with folks. Yo, man, you the turtle, dog. You on the post. I need to know who put you up here. And you can watch the movements and see. Because they're uninitiated in power. Because you got to understand, as Black men, when we become initiated into our ways, we are actually a threat. And it's hard for us to even move within the system. Because there's certain moves that you're going to make that's going to upset everybody. You can wear the wrong medallion. You can walk in and say the wrong thing. You could walk in with a certain confidence and people be intimidated. And you'd be wondering why they just moving past you and shit. And you really know. You know what I'm saying? You're not a goddamn turtle. I can't put you on the post. You try to climb the post by yourself. And they look at the Mr. Turtle and they'll take his ass and lift him up and put him above you. Now Now, Mr. Turtle, imagine you got to look up at this motherfucker with this turtle shell and always not even wondering, and just be like, "You the goddamn turtle, shut up." You know what I'm saying? Put your whole livelihood at stake. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know what I'm saying? But that goes back to us, family. We need to be the ones that's able to take some of these turtles and put them on the post. You know what I'm saying? West Asians have created a world where they can depict turtles and put them on top of the post. Family, we need to get some posts. You understand what I'm saying? We have to control the territory, because when you, because let me be very clear with you what a post is. A post, they're talking about a fence post. A fence post is something that's used to mark a people's territory. Once again, we get back to that piece where it's very important for us to start marking our territory. And if a motherfucker is sitting on one of our posts, we should be the ones that have put them there so that we can knock the damn turtle off when we feel like it. Right now, the turtle is sitting on other people's posts looking after us. Now we need to either put turtles on the post or give motherfuckers with the skill to climb up the post by themselves. You know what I'm saying? Which means we have to start opening up and start doing some of the rights that are important for ourselves. Because manhood is a sacred position. It's not some shit that you just age into. And this is something we got to be very clear with ourselves and very clear with our young ones. You know what I'm saying? We got a lot of men out here that sit on top of a post called manhood. It's somebody else's definition of manhood, and that turtle was sitting on the goddamn post, and we might need to start going around and knock this down. Some get your ass down. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Right. So, you know, I'm just going out to my family. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I want to thank Shaquem. I want to thank Brother Shaka. We do this every Coochie Chocolate and Ujima Shaka can tell y'all today, because I have a pledge that if I say the days, I got to do push-ups and I'm tired. I don't want to do no push-ups. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And every morning, I'm gonna shoot out my link for my daily toasters. Daily toasters. I will see you at 5:15. We can get up and we toast these ancestors. And to Sister Sheila, I want to thank you for being on Facebook. I don't know what's going on Facebook right now, but I am looking into doing a kombucha class or a June class here, because I can teach you how to do the kombucha, or I can teach you how to do the June. I prefer to teach people in my community the June, because the June is something we can control from the bottom to the top. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, one thing that you mentioned, I think, before we go.
Okay.
There's a brother by the name of Chris Powell, who, and if you go back and check out, you know, because I was on the air right when you got on the air, so I finished up the show, and, you know, but Chris Powell had mentioned to me, he said, he was like, oh, wow, I saw that. He said, I know what it is, but I'm allergic to bee pollen and honey. So I thought maybe we can find an alternative way.
Okay. You can
Hey, Chuck, all you got to do, man, all you got to do is come over. That's all.
Hold on. Hey. Y'all on the internet. Oh, y'all talk about that afterwards. Don't be putting your out there like that. Y'all can contact each other. You know what I'm saying? Exchange numbers. But you can use, we can train the scope. One of these scopes to use cane sugar for an individual, or you can use that syrup, not the regular syrup. What's the syrup that comes right? You use that. But all right, family, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. This is Brother Hatim. I want to thank you for joining us for the tribal quotes. I want to thank the guests. I want to thank everybody. And we are out. Once again, I need to remind you that this is Gye-Nyame Warrior Training Media. This drop closer is the heart of the simple production. Where we strive to blow up those old paradigms in the family. We are out. We'll see you in the morning.
I'm gonna call you right back.
He already hung up.